Hey guys, my name is Josh, and I'm making this channel to go to give my 2 cents about the social justice warrior stuff, like the stuff that's been going on since about 2015, give or take. So now that Trump's been elected and inaugurated, which I'm happy because I'm on the line between libertarian and conservative. I'm a right winger. I really just think that we shouldn't allow this political correctness, censor everything, call everything racist, sexist, homophobic, stuff like that. I really, so for the first video, we're going to start on a channel called Queer Kid Stuff. It's run by a woman called Lindsay. I say woman, I probably shouldn't assume her gender. It's run by a woman called Lindsay, and her co-host, Teddy.
Hey there, welcome to Queer Kid Stuff. I'm Lindsay, and today I want to talk to the grown-ups about this month's issue of National Geographic magazine.
We are different in many ways. Doesn't matter if you're a boy, girl, or somewhere in between. We all are part of one big family. Gaming's happy. Queer Kid Stuff.
This month's special issue of National Geographic magazine is called The Gender Revolution, the Shifting Landscape of Gender. I picked it up at the airport while I was flying over the holidays, and I was completely floored by the stories and images in the issue, and I had to talk to you about it because it directly aligns with what we're trying to do here at Queer Kid Stuff, validating queer young people. There's one article which actually says, and I quote, "By age 4, most children have a stable sense of their gender identity." That is a huge part of why this channel is aimed at ages 3 to 7. The issue is chock full of stuff like this. One of my favorite feminists, Gloria Steinem, weighs in. There's also an analysis of Disney movies that looks at what characters receive compliments based on skill versus appearance. There's another analysis of the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report that ranks every single country by its gender gap score. Spoiler alert, there isn't a single country that's reached equality across the board in education, health, economics, or politics. Only a handful of countries have reached equality in education and health. Everything else remains entirely unequal on a global scale. The centerpiece of the issue is an article and photo shoot talking to 9-year-olds all over the world about their gender identity. My favorite photo is of Avery Jackson from Kansas City, Missouri, who says, "The best thing about being a girl is now I don't have to pretend to be a boy." I highly recommend reading this issue. You can go to your local newsstand or bookstore to pick up a copy. You can also get a digital copy on the National Geographic app. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I just really love this issue. I'll leave you with a quote from the letter from the editor-in-chief. "All of us carry labels applied by others. The complimentary ones, generous, funny, smart, are worn with pride. The harsh ones can be lifelong burdens, indictments we try desperately to outrun. The most enduring label, and arguably the most influential, is the first one most of us got. It's a boy or it's a girl." Though Sigmund Freud used the word anatomy in his famous axiom, in essence he meant that gender is destiny. Today that and other beliefs about gender are shifting rapidly and radically. That's why we're devoting this month's issue to an exploration of gender in science, social systems, and in civilizations throughout history. Right? Thank you so much for watching Queer Kid Stuff. We'll be back with our episodes for kids next week. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm also writing a review of this issue for National Geographic for My Kid is Gay, and you can check out that link in the description below. And that's it for me. See you next time at Queer Kid Stuff.
Alright, so after that nice daily dose of cringe you got, this video left me with a multitude of questions, and a lot of these points are debunkable by a Google search. Oh god, I'm stuttering a lot. Where she said that kids can have a stable, you know, idea of what their gender is by 4. No, because Quora and the BBC say the age is around 24 to 27 that the brain stops developing. Then reference.com states it at 25. So, while your brain is developing, I have a fairly sure idea that that means that, of course, your brain could change. Because dysphoria is where you're a girl or a boy with the opposite brain, which means that you behave like the opposite sex. You're basically just the opposite sex within the wrong body. I can't begin to imagine the amount of how uncomfortable that would be for the people out there that are legitimate transgenders. And it must be sickening to think that for these people that have swapped to the opposite sex, that there are people there that fit in with the T in LGBT, and they go around protesting that you demand that there are 62 genders, or 64 if you're Milo Stewart, it's now 76. But I digress. And in Canada, I think it's the C16 bill, that it makes you be able to be sued for using the wrong pronouns. So how the heck are you meant to approach someone? So I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but it's kind of related. So another point she makes is that another point that she makes is the channel is aimed at, I think it was 4 to 7-year-olds or something around those sort of ages. Maybe 3 to 7, you know. That's too young. They're in primary school. 4-year-olds are learning to count. By 7, they're probably still learning times tables. Kids of that age shouldn't have to deal with this pressure of also thinking of what they are biologically. When you're learning your times tables, that's gonna get a lot of skills in life. I'm not sure about America, but in the UK, you need to know them to get a job, and rightly so. God, I'm just sick of this. And she looks like a millennial. I hate this generation. She mentions a feminist. I can't remember her name at this point in time. I would get into the issue with feminism, but God. Okay, I'll do it. Right. Feminists say they're for equality. Then they do the exact opposite. There are now feminists saying that all male babies should be killed. There are now feminists saying that all men are misogynistic. There are now feminists saying... Okay, I'm thinking of one, but you know. So she brings up another popular feminist point. I should have mentioned that earlier, about people shouldn't receive compliments on looks. Fact check, Lindsay. That's probably how your parents met. Generally, in the world, the man's making the first move in a relationship, right? They might be in a bar. He says you look nice. Can I buy you a drink? You know, stuff like that. Basic, cheesy, romantic stuff. Now she's saying, bloody hell, that they can't do that. Why? This is going back to the censorship issue. Why can't a man give a woman compliments based on looks? I agree, it shouldn't be just looks. I mean, yeah, that can be a bit objectifying. But a man should be able to give a woman a compliment on her looks. yeah, he should give her compliments of skill and personality traits, but looks is a perfectly good trait to have. And she also brings up the wage gap. This has been disproved so many times. And now National Geographic, of all people. I used to like them as a documentary channel, but I'm not so sure now. They say that no country has achieved equality over the pay gap. It's an earnings gap. Keywords here, keywords. Earnings are different from wages, obviously. Earnings are over a lifetime, and they take the average of men and women. It does not account for the lifestyle choices. It does not account for positions in the job. Like when you're higher up, you get paid more. And it's the fact that men generally take higher places of jobs. This isn't misogynistic to mention. Facts cannot be racist, misogynistic, sexist, homophobic. You know, they're just facts, cold hard facts. And I agree with her that education and health should be equal. But the wage gap has been disproved so many times. People need to stop using it as a scapegoat. So, there's something in here about 9-year-olds. And oh, the girl, the child was 9. And I think the quote from it was, the best part about being a girl is I don't have to pretend to be a boy. I agree, male stereotypes are annoying and wrong. But I also can see where they're coming from. Men should be men, women tend to prefer men with abs, strong men, you know, the more alpha male type. And then she goes on to say that, or the editor's notes at the end, they say that we try to outrun labels. You shouldn't outrun labels. You should hear what the labels say, then prove them wrong. It's the only way you're going to stop it. If someone calls you, I don't know, sexist, to be topical, then you go and prove that you're not. I'm not going to tell you how. There's multiple ways of taking that. But trying to outrun labels won't get you anywhere. If you're in school, it's up to 6 years until you finally leave that person. And another thing he says that gender isn't destiny. It's something pre-assigned to you by your chromosomes, which I'll bring up in the next point. But gender isn't very fluid. You can't be fluid between one or two things. You're either one or the other. Going on to the next point. He also mentions using science. This is easily disprovable by the fact that they've never brought up the subject of chromosomes, which brings up the point that you're either a man or a woman, and I know there have been cases of women, instead of having ovaries, they have testes. That's intersex, but that isn't a gender. That's that's not gender. What it is your chromosomes have messed up, but it's like one in, I think it's 2,000 people. That's what's fine. 1 in 2,000 people have this, but you're still a woman, or you're still a man. It's not significant enough to have to make new genders, new pronouns, new this, new that. Right, so that was my sense on that video. I've watched the channel a fair amount. I'll bring up some next subjects if I have to cover again. So I hope you liked the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.